Okay, we're going to go to a part two of this, all right? The first thing I want to do is, because I know it's a little bit janky, how I'm trying to show you these things, I want to try to break it down without the ball. Just know that when you practice this, if you have something that can keep time, like a pendulum, in this case, a tennis ball on a stretch cord, but anything that you can have, even a piece of string, okay? So it'll give you a sense of timing. Okay. But let's just break down the actual movements, okay? So if we start sort of movement, we have our ashi sabaki, our footwork, okay? Which is basically just trying to be natural with your foot work, okay? You're not trying to use anything in particular here. You're simply just in a natural kind of way of moving, okay? Then we have, when we're doing something where we're using our whole body, we just sink, okay? Sink, okay? You may use a little bit of rotational movement here. You may just sink, okay? Then, okay, to add to that, we're using our ashi sabaki. We have something coming to us, keeping time, okay? We're sinking out of the way with our whole body. Now we're going to come closer and just move a piece of our whole body. So once we sink, we turn, okay? All right, so once we sink, we move our shoulder out of the way of anything that's coming our way, okay? Or we move, and we turn our head so that something passes, okay? When I'm doing that, a couple of things. I'm sinking, okay? And I'm turning. And I'm adjusting my footwork, my feet, so that I'm always in relation to the center line of the opposing force, okay? If it's coming here, I want to try to get reflexively my body trained to move off of that center line and into my power zone, my center line, okay? If something's coming here, in other words, I don't want to do this, okay? That's a weak movement. I'm triangulated. I have no balance. Rather, I want to come, sink, turn. So now if you look at my feet, I have stability, okay? I have a strong center line, okay? And if they are attacking me, I am past their center line towards their back, okay? Which is what you want. One thing to keep in mind, folks, is that up to this time in evolution, human beings do not grow arms and legs and teeth and claws on their backs, okay? So you always want to think about that. If something is coming here, okay, and you're moving here so that you are to the back of that force, now he's got to make a step towards you. He has to readjust his center line, his axis of power, his balance, okay, which gives you options, okay? So keep that in mind. There's a reason why we're doing this way, okay? Now let's kind of look at it from the other perspective when you're generating strength and power. And again, I always like to go to the sword because it's a great teacher, okay? The first 20 years when you train yourself, if you get smacked in the mouth, if you get knocked or just slept, you know, we consider that pretty drastic. But this doesn't work that way, okay? You don't make mistakes with this, or you just don't exist anymore, okay? Generally speaking, okay? So I digress, and I revert to the best teacher in this respect. So if I'm making sort of a standard type of a Koryu draw, which is the most direct, and just coming right from my sheath here, okay? Let's look at how that works with what we're talking about, okay? Basically what's happening here is I'm going to turn this hip, okay? I'm going to exaggerate the movement. As I turn, this gives me space to draw, right? Now, as I'm pulling this back, I've created more distance without having to move my arm unnecessarily, right? So that's a kind of a rotational segmented movement, right? Just, wouldn't call it taisabaki. It's just very basically saying, it's a rotational movement. My feet are stable, okay, for the time being. They don't have to be. I could be walking when I do this. But it's just a here, which allows me now to set the sword Tezuka back, Tezuba back. So I have more space from which to draw, okay? Once having accomplished that, I just simply come forwards, okay? And I'm coming forwards with my weight. So now we have this movement, okay? So that all goes together, okay? 1, 2, sorry, I got caught up trying to go too slowly with that. Okay, watch from the side to be able to use it. So 1, right here. As I draw this back, now I come forwards, 2, and I sink. Okay, you see how this same type of movement has the same from a different perspective. You're the attacker now. You could draw this way too. It's the same principle. I come here, I pull this back, and make my cuts. Okay? Same idea. What I'm doing is, as I come here, I'm turning this back with a sigma rotational movement. I'm just boom. Okay? And as I do this, this doesn't go here, it goes here. Okay? See? Now I have the space, and it's very easy for me to complete the draw of the weapon. See? Same application. Okay? Even if you're coming up and over, okay? We're using basically a taijutsu movement, okay? So if we're doing this, okay, and we're coming this way, we're using a big movement here, okay? We're stretching our spine to create the distance. Okay? That's how we create the distance, okay? As we stretch our spine, we pull the scrabber back, okay? Same idea, okay? Now, you can even abbreviate those movements to the point where they're internalized. But it's the same idea. It's the same principles at work, okay? And the striking actually comes from that in many respects. Okay, from here, my feet have to not move with the knees. Okay, I need a turret here to create a base for that rotational movement. Boom, okay? Boom. Boom, okay? For Nagash. Pow, okay? I'm doing this. As this comes, everything lines up and comes forward at once, okay? So that is a whole body movement here. Foot, weight, and strike, simultaneous, okay? So, hopefully you can see why that drill is important. Okay, I'll give you one final little thing to work with. And think of this defensively, okay? You're moving with your footwork, and as you base and create a base for your weight, okay? It's at that point now that you have strength where you can move in any direction without your opponent knowing, as long as you understand how to move your body fluidly and efficiently, okay? So if I'm coming here with a punch, just for simplicity's sake, and the punch is coming towards me, okay, I might initially drop my weight here and then come here, okay, so that it comes over this way, okay? I might use something like this to facilitate that. I might not, depending on my distance, okay? What kind of combat situation. Against the boxer, this hand will go up, okay? These hands have to be up. If I'm at a greater distance, maybe not. I might just do this, okay? But by facilitating that movement now, okay, now it gives me options to come in at different angles, okay? Anyway, I hope this gives you some ideas about moving fluidly, okay? One other thing is, it's always good to practice in such a way like when you're here, just back, gradually shifting your weight, foot back, back. And when you do that, let your weight come back. Don't try to put your weight on your front foot, okay? Let your weight carry you, okay? Very simple exercise, very powerful, and very effective, okay? Then you build on that. So you're here, back, now, turn, or turn, okay? Okay, so here, back, turn, just one part of the body, just my trunk. Okay, turn, hit, maybe, boom, okay, back, weight comes back here, back, turn, okay, now turn your head, okay, not your shoulder. I was turning my trunk, right? Now come back and try to do it just with your shoulder. Right? Just a shoulder movement, okay? Just a shoulder movement. It's not going to be easy. Just the shoulder. Finally, just the head. Okay? Work in sequence. Let's